Hi, welcome to my home and to my channel. I'm Debbie, and yes, I'm coming from the Pacific Northwest where I live, and I am also offering you a weekly episode on something good about all the generations, the seniors, the Gen Zers, and everybody in between. So come along with me and let's get started.
Woke up this morning feeling fine. There's something special on my mind. Last night I met a new girl in the neighborhood. Whoa, yeah. Something tells me I'm into something good. Something tells me I'm into something. She's the kind of girl who's not too shy, and I can tell I'm her kind of guy. She danced close to me like I hope she would. She danced for me like I hope she would. Something tells me I'm into something good. Something tells me I'm into something. We only danced for a minute or two, and then she stuck close to me the whole night through. Can I be the one in love? For she's everything I've been dreaming of. She's everything I've been dreaming of. I moved her home and she held my hand. I knew it couldn't be just a one night stand. So I asked to see her next week, and she told me I could. I asked to see her and she told me I could. Something tells me I'm into something good. Something tells me I'm into something. Something tells me I'm into something.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Season 2, Episode 2. It's Sunday, September 29th, and today my topic will be all about when you are out in the working world. Many of you married and single, women, men, whatever, at some point usually you're in the working world. The kind of work that I like to call side gigs, things that you do perhaps outside of your main degree or your background or your main job of so many years or decades, as many of my senior friends and viewers have experienced in their lives. And really the title that I want to give this topic today for this episode is called Reinventing Yourself. Why not? Well, first of all, what does reinventing yourself mean, and why would you have to? You don't have to, but I bet my bottom dollar that most of you watching this today have at one time or another, for whatever reasons, and we can go over those, reinvented your work in the world or your anything that you promote in the world having to do with earning an income or volunteering. It's all good. In my own life, I had so many different interests, and therefore, I found myself reinventing myself under many different reasons. First of all, life can turn on a dime, and a job that you've had for a while, all of a sudden it's taken away or it no longer exists, especially in the days of technology that we are all experiencing now. Sometimes you've had the circumstance where you had to reinvent yourself or learn a new trade or learn something new so that you could go out and find employment so you could pay your bills and eat, okay? We've all been there. So my topic is about reinventing yourself, and I have done this many, many, many times throughout the decades, throughout my life. So we're going to talk about that today. Next week, I'm going to talk about something that was my main gig, and it was always something that I cared about. And next week, I'll be talking about being a teacher, an elementary education major in college, and therefore a teacher. That was really the crux of who I am, the crux of who I have been all my life. But today we're going to talk about reinventing yourself, and perhaps you have done so. It'll spark a conversation maybe with your grown kids and your grandkids so they could learn more about grandma and grandpa, the viewers out there that you are. First of all, my my main income as being a teacher meant that I needed a 4-year undergraduate degree. In some states across the United States, you need 5 years, a master's. But for me, at the time that I graduated from university, it was a 4-year degree in elementary education. So that I needed in order to get out at the age of 21 or 22 to start being an elementary teacher. But for sure, as you probably already recognize, you do not need to have to go to a university 4 years or even a 2 years associate if you have an interest in training on the job. Some young people, my Gen Z friends, some of them, of course, go to college because maybe they're going to end up becoming in the medical field, doctors or engineers, and they need the engineering degree, maybe a business, so they need a business administration background degree. But for those of you who do not need that necessarily or choose to go to a 2-year program and they get trained on the job, those are wonderful ways to be able to learn on the job, get paid, and maybe not even have to worry about paying off student loans, which is a big deal for most of the generation that I also speak to, the Gen Zers and beyond. For myself, I didn't need that, and a lot of what I did as my side gigs to reinvent myself through the years was just because I wanted to earn extra money, but more so I wanted to use the skills and the life skills that I knew that I could use well, and some of the natural talents that I had, especially in speaking, like what I'm doing now. I wanted to capitalize on those and learn and just not have a life where I only did one thing all those years. So let me start out with what I did right after college, in addition to, well, at the time teaching preschool, pre-K, kindergarten, first and second grade as the decades went on. In my hometown, and because I added on a 5th year as a dual major in health promotion and health education, because I always cared about health and health promotion especially, I ended up working with hospitals and health centers in the Toledo, Ohio area where I was after college, working at places like Riverside Hospital, St. Vincent's Hospital, and the Medical College of Ohio, which was located and is located in Toledo, as a health educator in wellness. At the hospitals that I just mentioned, I was employed very part-time, and it was for teaching wellness classes, but team teaching along with the RNs, with the nurses. For instance, there back in the 80s, when I was teaching back then into the early 90s in Ohio, I would team teach with RNs, for instance, at St. Vincent's Hospital or Riverside, teaching classes as in weight management and healthy lifestyle, exercise. And the nurses would also work with me because even though they did not know how to teach, they certainly knew the subjects. We had other things in that time frame, also because of how society was changing. Alternative medicine was very, very in vogue, especially in the 80s and early 90s. So we touched upon certain subjects like visualization, taking visualization walks, and being able to work. For instance, I worked very part-time with some oncology patients that were referred to me through the Medical College of Ohio for graduate students in the medical field. And so what that was I taught water exercise, that's right, to patients that were brought by the college and by the physicians to be able to be in the water to do gentle exercises. And I loved, especially in my 30s age range, teaching water exercise, water aerobics, which was also very popular, so that these patients who were recovering from surgery and all kinds of health issues could have gentle water exercise without jarring their bones and their feet and all of that. Some of you seniors now probably take water exercise just for the fact that it's fun and it's a nice way to enjoy stretching and enjoy the cool water. Another side gig that I loved doing was being able to attend and this was very popular in the 90s, some personal growth seminars. I started out by attending them just for my own personal growth and learning to become more self-actualized. It was extremely popular in the 1990s, as many of you remember. Personal growth meant, learning more mind, body, spirit. I know some of you may laugh and you may not be in that, but boy, was that popular. And I used to attend these seminars, weekend seminars, for my own benefit. What happened was I started learning so many things about alternative medicine, and it was so fascinating that I started to help to bring other people to the seminars, which translates into a little bit of marketing. I just did it because I loved attending these personal growth seminars, and I kept bringing people. Finally, one of the managers of the seminar company, which was based in California, but had seminars all over the country, he said to me, would you like to be one of our marketing people? Would you like to earn a commission to be able to fill seats at seminars? And I was just having so much fun, held down another job, and I did this on weekends because a lot of these side gigs that I had happened to be on the weekends. As a teacher, I didn't work on weekends, although I taught Sunday school. That I do remember for quite a while. But long story short, I enjoyed these seminars so much and couldn't help but tell people about it that I was able to make a commission as a salesperson. And then later on, when I actually attended some of their graduate programs, so to speak, in these seminars, because they move up on different levels, I was able to learn how to market them. And I became a marketing instructor, getting paid and being sent out to different locations across the country for the sales teams. Now, mind you, I did this only because I enjoyed the seminars, and my enjoyment and my enthusiasm, because so much of doing well on a job has to do with your enthusiasm and, of course, your knowledge and your energy, that the management of the seminar company, again based in California, would pay for my expenses to go to talk with different sales teams on how I was able to do what was so fun for me, bring in filled in seats for the seminars. So there you go. Did I have a business degree? No. Did I know how to talk to people and communicate and bring that enthusiasm out into the market? Absolutely. And so training on the job as another way to reinvent myself with something that provided so much fun and enjoyment for me. I also met people from all over the United States. And I also went to, I remember, Toronto for a week, doing a master seminar for a week and being able to also bring in commission sales and have a getaway. That was so much fun. That was back in the 90s for sure. Another thing that I did in my life, if this wasn't enough for you, again, using my communication skills, was as a spokesmodel, a spokesperson. And that took many different forms, especially in the 1980s and early 90s, again, when I was younger, in my 30s and so forth, and 40s. And it took the idea that I wanted to do my part working for a modeling agency, both in Toledo and later on in Las Vegas, where I had relocated. But there was a modeling agency in Toledo called Folio Models in my hometown, and I did PR. I did PR for them, again, without a public relations background degree, but just with my ability to talk to people and kind of learn on the job. I would send out, in those days, the marketing for modeling was at center court mall shows. Many malls, the advent of the malls center court shows would bring in through the anchor stores such as Macy's or Penny's or whatever, Bullock's back in California. There would be anchor stores that would hire in models from legitimate modeling agencies. Okay, this was all, very good stuff, and we would go out and be in center court mall shows. I did two things. I did petite fashion modeling because I'm not very tall, but I was very good at learning to turn and promote clothing and items and accessories, whatever the store wanted me as a model to show off in my size and my age range too back then. But also to be able to promote by getting on microphone. Not every model, not every person, knows how to speak in front of others or how to handle extemporaneous languaging in case something goes wrong or the music stops or the model forgot her whatever outfit. I was able to talk and draw in the audience, which again translated to sales. So I did microphone spokesmodeling. All I had to do was know the product and the service and just be able to get up there and enjoy communicating with the audience and hopefully getting rebooked the next time around for another promotion. Again, back in those days, it was mostly the malls, marketing like that, and being able to, in those days, it was before the internet, although that was changing in the 1990s. Advertising, as you well remember, used to be the Sunday paper supplements. The Sunday papers were enormous. Some of them, like in big cities, Vegas and Los Angeles, they were the size of a telephone book every Sunday. And that's how people in the community found out about sales to be able to go to a store. But oftentimes in those days, we would just be sent by an agency and they would call. So I did PR for the modeling agency and I was in the shows myself. And then when I kind of aged out of the shows because I was already approaching my 40s, and younger ladies and young guys too would get up and model certain outfits from Macy's or from wherever, I was on microphone. And later in Vegas, I also did that for trade shows. So what do all these side gigs have in common? Health education, seminar sales, spokesmodeling. What is the common denominator, as a mathematician might ask? Well, it's all about communications, communicating in the public, in the real world. And where am I now? At 71, almost 72 this year. I am volunteering, now that I'm retired, with a company, a student-led agency in Eugene, Oregon, where I live at the University of Oregon. I volunteer with a studio called Common Studios Agency, which is a student-led agency, and sending out these students called creatives who major in communications and journalism into the real world. And so many of them also will be using communication skills. So I'm volunteering some of my time and my life experience. By the way, nowadays, if any of you Gen Zers are watching, or you're the grandchildren of your baby boomer grandparents watching, I know now they call it being an influencer. I was an influencer back then, but it was a different time, before iPhones, before all of that online marketing. So we did more in-person, one-on-one and in groups, sales, things like that. We still were able to advertise, but it was a different form of advertising. It was not using a phone. Before I finish this episode about reinventing myself and yourself, perhaps it brought up some memories, I do want to add one thing that I did when I first became a resident of the state of Oregon back in the summer of 2017. I decided that fall to enter believe it or not, a pageant. Yes, they have pageants for seniors. The Miss USA organization, as you've probably heard, they have a seniors division. Anybody who is 60 and over, at the time I was 64, 65. And if you have a talent, if you have a platform, no swimsuit portion, thank goodness, because then nobody would want to vie for Miss Senior Eugene, Oregon, USA. But definitely if you have a talent, a platform, something that you want to speak on, and you are able to just be your charming self, why not apply? There was no entrance fee, and so I did. And there were several other ladies that were wonderful in their own talents and their abilities and their life experience. And a few months later, long after I'd forgotten about this applying a competition, I get a phone call from the state director who said, "Congratulations, Debbie, you are the new Miss Senior Eugene, Oregon 2018. I'll let you know in an email what some of your duties will be for the year 2018. Well, I almost had a heart attack because I didn't have anything on this, but I did become Miss Senior Eugene, USA. And one of the nicest things about this and my quote-unquote duties was that I was invited to be honored at a fundraising event at the University of Oregon, and with our state senator, Senator Ron Wyden. And I have a photo here of myself and the senator attending this fundraiser. And it was one of the best opportunities to be able to immerse myself in my new adopted community for retirement. Wow, that that was a lot this week. I hope you enjoyed how I reinvented myself, and apparently I continue to, even almost 72 years old soon. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week when I talk about my teaching experience. Have a good week. Bye.